storm and water restoration experts.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today, State Representative Dr. Bill Hauter. Dr. Hauter, good to see you, my friend. I see we're at the office today. How are you?
At the hospital. So if you hear anything overhead, or if I get called away to emergency, I'm sorry. I'll apologize in front of you.
That's all good. It's all good. It's part of the
I noticed that you couldn't get the eminent senator on, so you had to settle for a representative.
Of course, this is Sally Turner's usual spot, and poor Sally, she's dealing with a family emergency, but nothing serious. But she's tending to some family matters today. So
she's great. I always tease her about it. She's a senator. We all have to bow down in front of her.
Fall in line.
Not look directly at her
or
anything like that.
That's fabulous. I'm gonna give her a hard time about that next time I see her.
She rolls her eyes every time we're together and we're speaking. I say something about how the eminent senator, and that we're all just happy that she's here. And
that's
fantastic. she has a glow around her, an aura.
Oh, that's fabulous. That is fantastic. I love that. I'm going to do that. We were talking about Chapin Rose before we got started. I saw him at Farm Bureau meeting last week, Dr. Hauter. I missed opportunity. I should have done that to him. And now every time I see him now, I'm going to do that. I can't unhear this. This is fantastic.
Well, Senator Turner's been very, very kind to me. She only makes me wash her car a couple times a week.
Oh, that's great. She's such a great lady, though. She really
is.
She's great. I enjoy her immensely. Well, Dr. Hauter, the fun and laughs are short-lived in this conversation, unfortunately, because I know you have been outspoken and I think rightfully so. Given your expertise away from being a legislator, about some legislation that was passed last week. And I don't know that it has gotten the attention that perhaps it should in conservative circles. So what's going on? Let's talk medical aid and dying bill made or something like that. How about that?
I refuse to call it medical aid and dying, because we have medical aid and dying in medicine. It's called palliative care. It's called hospice care. We've devoted a lot of resources and time and effort to these specialties, because we take care of these patients, Seth. We're the ones who have taken care of these patients. We're with them. We're trying to heal them. We're trying to relieve their suffering. We're with them in the dying process through hospice, and we're with them in the chronic illnesses and disabilities and palliative care. And so we've taken care of these patients, and we've tried to find solutions. This is not the solution. This is not medical aid and dying. This is medicine aiding death. It's physician-assisted suicide. That's exactly what it is. And it passed barely against bipartisan opposition in the House and in the Senate. Barely passed. So it was bipartisan opposition. And the governor even expressed some hesitation. And why is that? Because he heard from disability communities. He heard from medical ethic community, and he heard from religious community that this is not what needs to happen. We have created a culture of death in Illinois instead of a culture of life. And so when I look at this, there's three main oppositions that I have to this. And I've said this many times. First of all, from an ethical standpoint, from the oath that we take as physicians, and that is to do no harm. This is obviously totally incompatible with that, and it's the most harm you can do, and so it's against our oath. And the Illinois State Medical Society has taken a stand, and I've been at the annual meetings, and we've voted strong majorities against it. The AMA is against it, and so many disability communities are against it. And so it's ethically, I think it's a very poor and wrong direction to go. And then I look at the expansion. So the expansion, everywhere it's been tried, it's been expanded. It's not like if it will happen or if it will be expanded, it's when. It is without question. They use this as a Trojan horse to introduce the concept of physician-assisted suicide, and then it expands in Canada, in Europe. It's expanded to minors. It's expanded to mental health issues. And basically, you can do it for any reason. It's a fifth leading cause of death in Canada. In the United States, we see in Oregon, other places where it started with stringent criteria that that they've been offered to for example, a lady with cancer, breast cancer, instead of being offered the expensive treatment for breast cancer, was offered assisted suicide. And then the last reason I'll just say is equity. So problems with equity. So whenever you introduce something like this, insurance companies who put profits over patients constantly, they look at this and they say, no care is the cheapest care. And so what happens is there's a two-tier system that develops where those with means and with money are able to get any kind of cancer care or other treatments for long-term chronic illnesses or disabilities. And those with long-term chronic illnesses or disabilities, or are at the end of their life, are not offered those expensive treatment, but they're offered assisted suicide, or they feel like they have a duty to die because they become very, a burden. Maybe they may think a burden to society or to their caregivers. So they develop this subconscious, I should, consider suicide. So those are my reasons to oppose it. My main reasons. There's so many others.
So then, and I agree. The governor, I listened to his comments on signing this bill. He genuinely sounded conflicted. Normally he's just aggrandizing and just bloviating. But I genuinely think he felt very uncomfortable about signing this bill, the way he talked about it. It was a tone you don't hear from him often. So why do you think?
Agree.
So then why do you think he did sign it?
I think it is kind of his leftist ideology and the momentum of this bill that he had previously, stated that he was in favor of it. I think there was some hesitation because of the way this process worked out, and that the surprise that it was actually brought forward in the face of bipartisan opposition. And I think he saw that and was a little bit hesitant, and maybe there was some consideration of his presidential ambitions, because he may have been looking at this as a way to set himself apart from the usual liberal ideology, and may have said, well, look at this. I see that there's bipartisan opposition, and I've considered this for a long time, and I'm going to veto this and say, come back with a better bill, or with less opposition from the Democrat side, and then present himself as more of a moderate in his presidential ambition.
I see. Again, State Representative Dr. Bill Hauter on the Zoom with us here today. And of course, Dr. Hauter, you mentioned this is an issue you see up close and personal on the regular, I'm sure, just with folks as they age, contemplating how they live out their final days, months, whatever the case may be. And I want to put this to you. You and I believe you. I forgive me if I'm speaking out of school here, but you and I live lives believing in God and all those things. But obviously not everybody does. Not everybody is religious or believes in a higher power, and so they say, well, I don't want to commit suicide myself, or in my life myself. This is a better way to do that, to prepare family, and like there's that maybe that mindset out there. Why shouldn't someone be able to do this if this is something they so choose?
Well, I mean, it is a good question. It's something we've been dealing with for a long time, and you do want to have compassion for these people. That we have arguments and people on both sides of this in medicine, and it's for sure there's good arguments for it, and I understand that. I think that is not the direction to go. I think that if we can really expand our use of compassionate care and palliative care and hospice, that's the direction we need to go, instead of taking physicians who have a tradition and an oath of relieving suffering and fighting for the dignity and the worth of every individual in life and in death, for taking care of people in their darkest moments. And now we're going to make those physicians help kill themselves and disregard our oath and change the total principles and practices and of medicine that has been for eons and millennium. That's what physicians do. It's just the wrong direction to go, and we've made so many advances in pain control and how we understand the dying process. I understand the argument, definitely understand it, and definitely know there's stories out there and there's people out there that I admire and respect that think differently than me. But like you said, I do come from a strong belief in God and Christ, and I'm a strong pro-life physician for the innocent unborn until the suffering and disabled.
Well, let's wrap it up with this, Dr. Hauter. You mentioned this is just the start of the progression of where this will go. There's the term mature minor that is thrown out there, whatever that looks like. Such a subjective term. How do you even define that? But then of course there's the disability community and those sorts of things. This is just another example of starting from a piece of legislation seeding to a for folks may feel differently, but a morally repugnant position, and then just seeding ground. This is the latest example. We've seen so much of it in Illinois over the years.
Yep, I mean that's called a slippery slope, and it is real. I call it a slippery cliff. It does happen, and we see this. I can give you so many examples of the slippery slope and where other states started and where they are now, other countries started and where they are now. Again, it's the same thing with, you can use an example like marijuana, and whatever your thoughts are on marijuana, we all knew when they introduced medical marijuana, that was just a stepping stone to eventual recreational use marijuana. And that happened in every state. It was introduced as, we're only going to use it for medical issues, and in every state that's how it started before it became recreational. And I think this is going to be very similar.
I think we're on the way to legal, like the Oregon model of legalizing things like cocaine and mushrooms and all those things. I honestly think that's next. If the governor is reelected for a third term, that wouldn't surprise me. So I mean, when there's no absolute truth, it's just your truth. When there's nothing but autonomy and I can do whatever I want. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what society thinks. This is sort of the idea behind a lot of this, including physician-assisted suicide, that the autonomy of the individual is everything. And all these taboos and mores and morality and societal norms are really just something to be broken, because what only matters is I can do whatever I want, including, again, talking about pro-life, but including with abortion. It's my body, and they won't listen to anything that there's also another body that we're talking about. Do you foresee this intersecting with abortion in some way? I mean, I think of, like late term abortion, or even, after the child is born, a mother just, being overwhelmed and deciding they don't want the child anymore. So they take this route.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you start with the culture of death, like we've done, and we foster it, we almost celebrate. It used to be abortion was safe, legal, rare.
Right.
We did that over and over
Ceded,
again.
ceded more ground there, right?
Yep. And now it's very common, and it's very celebrated. And we see in a lot of ways it's become unsafe because they conflate any kind of restriction on abortion. They conflate that with any of the safety mechanisms that we have in place, and safety and sterility and other issues. And they're trying to break down because they think that's any kind of safety, boundary we have is actually restricting abortion. So you can't have any restrictions in this state. And now we're encouraging other people from other states to come in and illegal aliens to use our abortion funds. So, it's just mind boggling to me, but
I heard the term abortion tourism,
Yep. That's absolutely true. And you look at some of our bordering cities like
St. Louis,
St. Louis and Granite City and Carbondale, and then Chicago, of course, and others that they're getting, they almost have, we have in Illinois set up a hotline to help with abortion tourism. It's hard for me to even say that. My goodness, Seth, this is a deep conversation for 8:30 in the morning.
8:30 in the morning, the week before Christmas.
You're challenging me.
Hey,
yeah. But these are deep questions, and I think that they have to be discussed when you're talking about physicians now helping people commit suicide.
Yep. It's tell you what, I'd rather be talking about the Bears or whatever, the Cubs or anything. Honestly, anything better than this.
Absolutely. Yep.
I'll tell you what, Dr. Hauter. On that note, my friend, let's break here. Come back with some more. State Representative Dr. Bill Hauter, my guest on the Zoom. More to come with him on the morning show.
WHOW.
Extra model year savings are available. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have 2025 Silverados with extra savings as well as a few other models now. See our 2026 Silverados in regular cabs, double cabs, and crew cabs in gas or diesel. We also have a good selection of the all-new redesigned Chevrolet Traverse. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. See all our inventory at baumchevybuick.com right from the start.
Are you looking for a new doctor? Someone who makes you feel heard? At Memorial Care, our primary care physicians and advanced practice providers do more than checkups. They also check in, listening to your needs, discussing your health trends, and advocating for you, especially when you notice a change. They're people you can trust from a trusted healthcare leader. Memorial Care. Real care. Real connections. Learn more at memorial.health/primary care.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. State Representative Dr. Bill Hauter is my guest on the Zoom today. Dr. Hauter, I know you wanted to get to the mass transit bill. I want to ask something. You mentioned the Bears at the end of that first segment. We were talking about the Bears before we got started. I saw a report, and I don't know if this is verified. So if I'm putting out misinformation, correct me. But I thought I saw a thing where Kevin Warren said they were considering like the east side of Chicago, like moving into the Indiana side of Chicago. And I saw that, and my first thought was, this is just grandstanding to try to get more money out of Chicago and Illinois, or am I wrong? Like, have you seen that? Is that verified? What do you think of that?
Yep. No, it was an open letter from the owner of the Bears saying, there's no momentum or appetite to give the Bears any consideration in the General Assembly, which is likely true. But so they're going to expand their search to any available option, including northeast Indiana. So I don't think it's going to happen. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's probably negotiating technique. I can't imagine the Indiana Bears. It would be horrible. It's too horrible to even consider. But the Bears are contending that they're ready to build the stadium in Arlington Heights. They just need tax breaks from the state and city, and they need infrastructure built like you would for any kind of major building project. But they're ready to put billions into it. It's just that they need a partner in the government for sure, which is probably true. I don't know with our budget problems in this in the state.
State
I
of
don't know
Illinois
how
can't even
much.
take care of itself. How are they going to take care of the Bears?
Yeah, and so it's just a very hard problem. And I always go back to I would love to spend money on the Bears rather than illegal immigrants, which we've spent billions on. Can you imagine, how much money that we've spent on fostering and taking care of healthcare and giving them, room and board in our cities and in our state?
Can I offer something? I'd rather you just live up to your obligations. Fund your schools. I don't care about the Bears. Fund your schools, for goodness sake, Dr. Hauter. Fund the least among us. Mentally challenged folks. The folks that the developmentally disabled folks. Get those people taken care of. Then worry about the Bears and everybody else.
100%. And I think your point is take care of Illinoisans. With Illinois tax dollars, not people that are here undocumented or illegal, whatever you want to say, but shouldn't be here or shouldn't overstay their visa or whatever you want to call it. Not fund those to the tune of billions of dollars to them that are not citizens of our country or citizens of our state. I don't. I just want to take care of Illinoisans with Illinois dollars.
Yeah. Then worry about the Bears. But be all that as may. And then worry about maybe mass transit in Chicago. The state of Illinois is paying for that. Dr. Hauter, 1 minute on that for us.
Well, I think downstate Illinois is going to come to realize what just happened to them in veto session. It was a very, very bad veto session. If you're talking about energy policy in the state, and you're talking about this mass transit bill, which took $450 million, and this will be every year or ongoing in different percentages, so it'll be different amounts. But $450 million was taken out of earmarked downstate road funds and placed into the Chicago mass transit system to cover their expenses. And there was no reform, or very little reform. They consolidated some of the agencies into one. I think it's Northern Illinois Mass Transit now.
Yeah, I heard
it's all going to be called.
Yeah.
And then they raised tolls by 50% or 50 cents.
Sure. Dr. Hauter, I don't mean to cut you off there. We got to let you go for the day. Thanks for making time for us. Yep. Dr.